You know, for so many years, Congressman Lewis would lead marches across the Edmund Pettus Bridge to commemorate Bloody Sunday. The most recent time, Aisha, was just a couple of months ago. He was there in March for the 55th anniversary. Selma and the bridge are so tied to his legacy, and that's really the reason there's a growing momentum to name the bridge after Lewis. Right now, it's named after a former Confederate general and KKK leader, Edmund Pettus. That first march was critical in passing the Voting Rights Act, as you mentioned, in 1965. Now, Democratic senators are hoping to continue his legacy by restoring parts of that legislation, which were taken away in 2013 by a Supreme Court decision. Yesterday, Democrats in the Senate introduced the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act. It restores provisions from the Voting Rights Act, including a requirement that states with a history of racial discrimination get approval from the government before they make any changing to the voting process. So this bill is co-sponsored by 47 senators, including one Republican. You can tune into 11 Alive on Sunday for special coverage of tributes to Congressman Lewis. And at 10 a.m., there's going to be an encore presentation of our hour-long special Remembering John Lewis, followed by his final crossing of the Edmund Pettus Bridge. That's at 11, all right here on 11 Alive.